Hello, welcome back to the Genealogy Gems YouTube channel. I'm Lisa Louise Cook, of course, of the Genealogy Gems podcast, and I'm here at Roots Tech 2015, and I have a newbie to Roots Tech, but probably not a newbie to you because you know her from the Genealogy Roadshow on PBS, Mary Tedesco. Hi, Mary.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's a pleasure to meet you in person.
I know,
finally.
Because we got a chance to chat on the podcast, and we have her on Genealogy Gems podcast.
And of course, I've been listening to your podcast for quite some time, so it's great to finally meet you in person.
Well, wonderful to have you here. And I'm thrilled that you made it to Roots Tech.
I know.
What do you think? I mean, my gosh.
This production is amazing. I would have come so much sooner, so many years sooner, but it's an amazing thing. It's so energizing to see so many people interested in genealogy. I was floored when I saw how many people were at these keynote addresses. It's amazing. I mean, 20,000 registrants. You can't beat that, Lisa. You really cannot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's beautiful that it's merged together with FGS this year, which has really introduced a whole nother segment of the genealogy world into what's going on here at Roots Tech. How about this exhibit hall? Have you had a chance to even make the rounds? Has anything kind of grabbed your attention?
It's just the size, the overall size and quality of each of these exhibits. I mean, it really comes across. You can see the effort that people put forth to put together these presentations. I mean, large businesses, small businesses, other types of venues, societies. It's an amazing mix to see everybody here and just how much effort they put to get here. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. Now, you may have already heard the podcast episode, and if you haven't, you have to go down and look in the description of this video because I'm going to have the episode and the link for you. But in that episode, you and I talked about something else that you're new to, the Genealogy Roadshow.
Yes.
How's the experience been?
I have the best job in the world.
You do?
I just have to say that because it's such a sincere pleasure to be on TV with Josh and Kenyatta, who I'm also honored to call my friends.
Yeah.
And you really cannot beat that experience, not if you had $1 million and all the money in the world, really.
to not only be, working through the process of helping somebody with a discovery and all the excitement that comes with that, and you're sharing that with them, but then you're sharing it with everybody else and maybe even introducing somebody.
Absolutely.
Have you heard from people who've said, wow, I had no idea?
Lisa, so many emails. And what I find so touching is that people email me and they find little pieces that they can relate to of people on the show. Maybe it's even somebody of a different ethnicity from what they are, but they said, I could relate to this because, I had an ancestor in the War of 1812, or I'm African American, or I'm of Italian descent or something. So these, wonderful emails of people just relating back to things that we're presenting and to the guests on the show, which really makes the show. It's really the guests that make this show. And
that's what's different about your show. Your guests are not celebrities. They haven't done 3 movies and 6 TV shows. You're talking to everyday folk. Well, how did they come to you? How did their stories come to you? And then you say, that's one I think the audience would be interested in. We're going to do some research for you.
Well, that is an excellent question. So each of these folks applied at genealogyroadshow.org on our casting page. So there's a questionnaire there that people fill out, and we ask, what is your story? What type of information that you're looking for, and just information about you in general. Who are you? How old are you? Where do you come from? And then the producers, when they begin the selection process for each season, they take a look at these and then select cases. Our research team, which it takes a village, as you know,
to research explore them a bit, to kind of see what's there.
Them to see if there's anything more to the story to explore to. And then progressively, just like in genealogy research every day with you and me, we add a few more hours on to here and there until we have the stories that you see on TV. It's a really special process, and it's really just like you and I doing genealogical research, except it gets shown on TV.
Exactly. And you do. You continue to do your professional genealogy research in addition to the schedule. Your schedule sounds like my schedule. It's like
we're not busy at all, right?
Yeah, I know. Italian research is her specialty, and that's what we got a chance to explore a bit on the podcast. Exactly. And you were my first real Italian expert to come on and talk about that. I don't have any Italian in my background. Tell us about, I'd love a couple of quick pointers.
Sure.
If somebody out there says, I have Italian ancestors, where do I start?
Okay, so the first place to start is actually, if you don't mind the plug for our new Italian guide. So we just published through Moore's Head magazine, Marcia Melnick and myself co-authored Tracing Your Italian Ancestors, which is an 84-page guide into Italian research. So, I mean, it's not just because we're the co-authors, but I would encourage people to start there. Has, tips about how to get started with United States records, which are Marcia's articles, and then I go into actually researching on-site in Italy, getting into Italian records, church records, birth, marriage, and death, civil records, just anything you need to get started. I think that will provide people with a great base and then get them to the next level, because genealogy, as you know, is continuous education.
Yes.
And, as long as people are prepared to never stop learning, they'll have a great time along the way.
And that's the thing. If you back down on the ongoing learning part, then you find yourself you're working too hard because you're not coming at it with the newest methodologies and opportunities and everything that's coming online. So
exactly.
But you don't just do online. You tell them how often you make it over to Italy. And
well, believe it or not, I've actually been to Italy 13 times, which some people find, and then some people do calculations with airfare, which is insane. But anyway, so, I go to Italy as often as possible. Most of that these days is for client research, client commissioned research to specific areas of Italy. And I always tell people, as we discussed before, there are over 8,000 ways to do Italian genealogy, and I'm not going to stop until I see every single one of those towns. So, it's a sincere pleasure to be able to walk in the footsteps of my clients' ancestors and then bring that information back to America or wherever they live around the world and introduce them to these people that they're connected to that they never knew.
Do you think you would ever give that up, no matter how many TV shows you're doing or how many books you're writing, that personalized research that you do for people?
Would you ever give up something that's so fulfilling and that you're so passionate about?
Yeah.
I mean, I can never say what the future will hold, but genealogy is such a special thing, and it's really a true passion. It really doesn't feel like work at all. And that's why, you and I both are able to, pull these long work days and long hours because it's not really work to us.
And it just flies by.
I know, it's a pleasure and it flies by.
Yeah, absolutely. Final question on Italian research. I know for me in my German research, it's all about those church records. They're so fantastic. What could somebody expect as far as the quality? Is that the core record over there? Were they really meticulous about it? What can we expect to find?
Well, before civil registration, church records are a must-see.
Yeah.
There's no way you can get around not looking at church records. So, the church records are typically either found in the local parish church or the diocesan archive, or both, of course. So that's why Italian research, almost always, I guess, takes us local, because we often find ourselves in the parish churches where these events actually happen, where your ancestor was baptized, and then we do the research right there, which if people have never done it, I'd encourage them to go over and take a look, because you're viewing the record that the priest really created when your ancestor was married, for example. It's incredible, but church records are a central part of what I look at every day.
Fantastic. So tell us, if we can certainly find you on the Genealogy Roadshow, where can we find Mary Tedesco, particularly somebody who might want to get a little help with the Italian research?
Well, you can definitely contact me on my website, which is originsitaly.com, or you can connect on Twitter, of course. We know we love Twitter, at Origins Italy, and just basically anything Origins Italy. You can definitely contact me, but I'd love to hear from, any of your guests that were interested in Italian research.
Fantastic. Mary, thank you so much, and how much fun to get a chance to see you in person.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Be sure and check out down below the video description, because we're going to have the Origins Italy website, how to find Genealogy Roadshow, and of course, how to find the Genealogy Gems podcast and Mary's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.